Good morning, cyber friends. It's Mitty Man coming at you again from Walker's Music. And matter of fact, we's on trying to pour a quart into a pint here this morning. Got things we got to try to get done today if the Lord say so. And we want to give him all the glory, praise, and honor for life, health, and strength. And we thank him for each and every one of you. I want to say something this morning, people, about don't let Capernaum get your blessing. Don't let Capernaum get your blessing. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Judea. That's about 6 miles south of Jerusalem, walking distance, very close walking distance. And after he was born in Bethlehem, and after about a while, his family, Joseph, took the boy, Jesus, and his mother Mary, they took him to Egypt. And they sojourned down there in Egypt for a little while until Herod, the one that sought to kill the child, was dead. And then after they found out that Herod had passed away, was deceased, they went back to Mary and Joseph's home of Nazareth. Jesus was raised up in Nazareth. That's why they called him a Nazarene. The prophecy had foretold in the old that he would be called a Nazarene, but born in Nazareth. But just as it is with a lot of us, whether you got a ministry or whatever caliber it may be, you may not have a large ministry, but you just got something that you do a little bit better than another, and God has blessed you with this here thing. People, your own people, 9 times out of 10, the most resistance you're going to get is going to be from your own people. That's a given. You know what? You shouldn't even get upset by that, because that's just the way it is. Jesus was born in Nazareth, born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth. His hometown people there, when Jesus got into his ministry, they could not see the Jesus in him. They only could see Mary's boy. That's Joseph's boy, the carpenter. They couldn't see the greatness of Jesus for looking at his status. Well, therefore, Jesus could not do. The Bible tells us that Jesus could not do too many great things at Nazareth because of their unbelief. And it was only because of the fact that they were looking at who he was. They were looking at Jesus, the carpenter's son. They couldn't see Jesus as the King of Kings, the Savior of the world. And therefore, guess what? Jesus took his ministry to Capernaum. Yes. Jesus didn't argue with him. Jesus just took his ministry to Capernaum. Neither, if you look at it, Jesus didn't consult with Peter. He didn't consult with John. He didn't consult with James. That was his inner circle. Let me tell you something about inner circle. We got people that we think that we can really depend on through thick and thin. But even then, those will deceive you. Because we all are human, subject to mistakes. You can never put your 100% confidence in nobody but God. Number one, period. So therefore, when Jesus got ready to go to Capernaum, he went and just went on to Capernaum. He didn't ask nobody for their opinion. People, a lot of times, Nazareth lost the blessing that God placed right there in the midst of them. But they missed out on all the blessings because they could not forget who, they just kept looking at who Jesus was supposed to be. Therefore, they couldn't see him for who he was. And therefore, they missed out on a whole lot of blessing. Whole lot of blessing they missed out on. Jesus took his ministry on down to Capernaum. Capernaum became the headquarters for most of the miracles and everything that Jesus did. If you look at your scripture, all of it come out of Capernaum. You don't hear too much about Nazareth, except for the fact that he could only heal a few sick folk. But they did not get the blessing because the blessing went to Capernaum. People, that's what's going to happen to, I'm going to prophesy this here to a lot of these churches around here, and it already has happened in my area. We got some great musicians, and I'm not going to call the name, that moved their ministries. My buddy Brother Carter, Floyd Carter, Brother Darrell. Darrell still plays at his home church, just as I play at my home church. We're able to do that much so far. But most of the time, their ministry will move out of this area. Why? Because people always push away their own instead of embracing them. You know, there should not be one preacher, Sunday school teacher, keyboard player that's employed into the church, that's actively trying to do the best they can inside the church, that should not be embraced by the congregation and the people. But guess what? Rather that happen. And I'm not just talking about musicians. You heard me, I started from the pastor on down. You got some pastors that try to do the best they can to try to get the congregation where they need to be, but they'll just talk about everything they'll talk about. Well, let me tell you something, people. Those of us that are talking about the pastor ain't doing this, and the Sunday school teacher ain't doing that, and the musician ain't doing it. Well, if you look at your own self, you'll find some stuff you're not doing either. You see, this, we don't never look at it like that. I mean, when we trying to put, when I sit here and try to put down other musicians, I need to be very careful. I'm a musician myself. And just because I'm gonna sit here and put down another musician about what he ain't doing or she's not doing, you better be careful, because you reap what you sow. But I mean, everybody want to talk about what, well, you know, they need to live this way. You need to live right too. It ain't no easy for a preacher to live right as it is for you or me. It ain't no easier. In fact, it is harder, because the devil is really after them, because they are trying to lead the flock, trying to keep people out of hell. So the devil is definitely going to be after them. And if you say the devil ain't after you, you do everything right there because he already got you. That's how come the devil ain't bothering you, because you all both of y'all going in the same direction. That's how come you ain't getting no opposition, because you going to hell right along with it. We got to be very, very careful when we start talking about what others. Be very careful. And I mean, I would never sit here and judge a preacher or nobody that's in ministry. I would dare not judge them, because I look at myself. And it's not easy. The devil is after everyone that he don't automatically have. Now, if he ain't got you, he going to be after you. And if you are not being bothered by the devil, get ready. But if you're not being bothered by the devil, that should tell you something. That maybe you need to go and check yourself, because everybody that was going to try to do something for God got bothered by the devil. So now I just wanted to give y'all them 2 cents, and I'm through with it. But be careful how you try to treat me or anybody. Be careful. You better check yourself, because you reap what you sow. What you plant surely will grow. That's a song there. In other words, this is me, the man, saying whatever you get into, if God ain't in it, get out of it. It's gonna come to nothing. Peace. Goodbye.